Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Expertly Unqualified.
Welcome back,
Uh,
everyone.
we're super excited to have you here today. We missed you guys last week, but don't you worry, we have a great episode in store today. If you can't tell, we're not in our normal studio. We're in a special location recording. It's kind of a fun format, so we're gonna roll with it. If you can't tell, I'm actually by my brother's house where there's one piece of art and a blank wall. So very die-coded.
Oh, yes. You can tell it was decorated by a boy.
Yes, but you know what? I helped him decorate. Let's see if this will work. Well, maybe not. I helped him decorate. I helped him find those curtains, and I gave him this chair. And we
Oh,
went
and
to
he has a lamp.
IKEA. Yes, he has a lamp. This IKEA's finest. So I helped him with all of I want to say pastries, all the tapestries. We got a little pattern and it lets a little light in. But actually, there's not any more light to be shown in because of freaking daylight savings time and the darkness that comes upon us it's not even 4:30 right now and it's almost dark and I do not like it.
I did not agree to this.
No,
Too early.
I did not sign up for this. I don't think anybody does. But for today's episode, we obviously are going to start with our WHAT news first. And then we're going to dive back into, if you watched, it was probably a few episodes ago, more like 5, but we did our fall joy list. So we'll dive into what exactly that is. And then we'll talk about our fall joy list. I have to relocate where mine is. I have it kind of like in the back of my brain. And I know I have pictures of it, but I'll need to remember it. And then we kind of want to talk about like the holidays coming up and how you can prepare for those because I feel like it's once Halloween hits, it's a whirlwind of birthdays, holidays, family parties, more parties, craziness. So hopefully we can dive right into that. But I thought we could start with our WHAT news of the week. So starting off, we have our weekly stats you didn't need to know, but now you know. Holly, what's your weekly stat of this week?
All right. So today, or last week, if you're listening to this, was holiday lunch at Starbucks, which is very much anticipated by the customers. And the amount of people who got to Starbucks before I did at 4:30 in the morning.
Are you
2.
serious?
There were 2 teenage boys waiting in line to buy
Teenage
cups.
boys.
They were wearing pajamas and Crocs with socks, and they did have gibbets in their Crocs.
Fair enough. That's what I would be wearing. Why are you up at the crack of dawn to get a cup? Was it a new Stanley Cup? Or did they
So
want the bear
surprisingly,
cup or something?
I don't think my store got any Stanleys, but we got Owalas. Those boys
You
wanted
get
the
a
bear cup.
Wallace?
Yeah, there's 3 colors.
Oh,
But we
God.
don't get to use our employee discount on any of them. So even though Owalas, they're full priced for.
That's ridiculous. We'll go into our rant, and that'll probably be our top rant. But that's so dumb. But 2 people before you, and you get there very, very early to buy a cup. Yeah, I had only seen one video about the bear cup. And yes, it is very, very, very cute.
There were. Oh, go
I feel like they just hate you. The
ahead.
company just hates their workers because we're gonna promote this bear cup, but we're not gonna give you any. So then you have to waste your entire day telling people we don't have it, and then they get mad at you for no reason.
And it's like they hate their customers too, because there were even more people that weren't standing in front of the front door. When I got to my Starbucks, there was at least like 7 cars in the parking
Oh
lot.
my God, that's
Um,
too many.
and there's 3 openers. There's 7 cars, 4 extra cars, and they only sent 2 bear cups to every store. We were so busy right off the bat because and they're small too. They're like the size of like the honey bear. They're not a big
Yeah,
cup. It's like a bear. But yeah, no, they only sent 2 to each store. And obviously, even though my store didn't get any at all, they were bought by employees at every store.
well, yeah, of course. That's so stupid. So here's a hack. Just go to Aldi and buy honey and eat it, enjoy it, and then keep the bear.
And congratulations, then you have a bear cup.
Yeah, then
And
you have a bear cup.
I have a second stat.
Okay.
Amount of glasses I've broken. Today, I broke the lens out of my glasses, just
Huh?
fell out in the middle
No.
of a rush. And I still have the screw, so I can just screw my glasses back together.
Oh, that's
But it
good.
was just like, it was like a funny little disappointment, you know? Like,
Yeah,
of
you're
course
like,
this is happening.
of course, right now when everybody's yelling at me for a bear. That's crazy. Yeah.
All right. Do you have it?
My weekly stat, I was trying to think this week. So, anxiety, number of crafts I've done this week. Well, yeah, we'll call like this is an actual craft. Like it's very fancy. One, I did one craft this past week. I went to Target because I was just having one of those days, and like if you never feel your best or you just feel so meh, just go to Target. You'll feel so much better. And they had the best crafting section. Okay. I forget it's like Moto Llama or something
Yes.
brand, and they have a whole bunch of little things. You just buy the kit and you can do it. And so I got this cute little tray, maybe like 12 by 5. So you could fit like a candle on it, maybe like a small vase of flowers. It was a little tray, and you did mosaic tiles in the bottom. You'd glue them on, and then you'd use, what is it? You like grout it.
Mhm.
And it was a cute little thing. It took me forever to glue the little pieces on. And obviously, like they're little square tiles and they have different patterns you can follow. I have the hardest time doing like a random pattern because I don't want like the same colors near each other. And so I was able to figure out how to make it random but still have a pattern. But then by the end of it, I ran out of different colors and I was moving them all around. The directions weren't super clear, so I was like, oh, I'll make the grout and then you smear it on and then you let it sit for like half an hour and then you wipe it down with water to like rinse it out. They didn't really mention that you're supposed to let like the glue dry on the tiles before you put the grout because then all the tiles move. And old type A Caroline would have been like, "Oh my god, I need to throw away this little tray because the tiles are not in line." Type B Caroline said, "I'm going to throw a candle on top of it and then you can't tell that the lines aren't straight." It was a lot of fun and it took my brain off of everything, and I think it was like $15, so kind of a steal, and it makes your house look cute, so what more could you ask for?
I love that brand of crafts too, and I really relate to having to calm down from my perfectionistic tendencies just for my own mental health and sake.
Like, no one said that it
Yeah.
has to be in a straight line. It was just me, my silly little brain telling me it needs to be in a straight line. But yeah, so that was my stat of the week. Moving on, we have headlines of the week. I'm trying to think of any of the headlines. Well, I do have one. Um, this past week I went to, there's an independent bookstore by my house that was having this special event. And have you ever seen the Food Network show The Pioneer Woman?
Yes.
She and her daughter were in town and we went to this big box church nearby, and she has a new cookbook out. So you got a signed copy of her cookbook and then you got to do like a little meet and greet and sit and listen to her and her daughter talk. So that was super fun.
So cool.
Yeah, and what was even cooler, I didn't win, but she's like, "Okay, I love this recipe, and for this recipe, you're gonna need a blender. So open to page 64 of the cookbook. Does anybody have a special note on theirs?" So she circled and wrote like, "Yay!" So she gave away a blender, some perfume, a stand mixer, a set of pans, some knives, like anything you could think of, and I thought that was very sweet, and she was really nice. Her and her daughter were very sweet. So now I have a whole cookbook of recipes that I need to make, and they all look absolutely delicious. They're like the essentials, so it has mac and cheese, sloppy joes, Dr. Pepper pulled pork, which sounds amazing. The mac and cheese, I think, has like 3 or 4 pounds of cheese in it, so it sounds delicious. But yeah, so I gotta get cooking.
I love her cookware line too. All of like the things she sells are so pretty. They do sell them at Walmart, I think.
Oh, I'll have to take a look. I did watch a show every once in a while, and like
Mhm.
if you mentioned who she was, I would know. But I need to check that out because that's pretty cool.
And her recipes are, again, they're very good. And I think that a lot of them are pretty easy to make too. So I do
Yeah, that's
recommend.
yeah. So, what was your headline of the week?
My headline of the week. Okay. I was a little bit late this year because usually I'm a November 1st kind of girl for the
Oh,
Christmas tree. But
okay.
I put up my Christmas tree this week,
Very
which is a
nice.
little bit early. So I don't really put up the ornaments until after
Huh.
Thanksgiving. is over, but I do start putting out, like, the tree and, like, I still need to get them out, but, like, garlands too.
Yeah.
I put those out.
I feel like I'm torn because I'm so much of like December 1st start doing that, but I think there's so much joy and love surrounding Christmas and like holiday cheer and stuff that like it's what people look forward to at the end of the year when everything gets crazy. You can come home and you just have like the Christmas tree lit up. You just have cute things, cute decorations around your house. So I can understand putting it up early. And I like how you said it's up, but it's not finished. So then you can add some more holiday glam and sparkle later on.
And I could still out or I'm still gonna put out, Thanksgiving decorations too.
Yeah,
Maybe I could put up little turkeys on the tree, that would be cute.
that would be very cute. I've seen some people who like keep their tree up all year round and then they just adjust it for whatever holiday's coming up next. I feel like that'd be a lot of work, but it's cool if you do it.
I did that when I was a really little kid. It wasn't a full-size tree, though, it was a mini tree, but it was
Mhm.
definitely cute, and it's a cute little idea.
So moving on to adulting of the week. I did adult this week. I think two different things I did. One was I finally stopped avoiding my duvet cover and I finally put it back on. I had like cleaned it and then just left it in a laundry basket for a really long time. So I finally put it back on, and it was a lot easier than I made it out to be. If you don't have a duvet cover, do not get one because nice aesthetically, like to look at it and you're like, yes, this looks nice. It's kind of a pain to wash and put back on. And especially like the one that the fabric that mine's made out of is very wrinkly. So if you don't do anything with it for a while, it gets very wrinkled. I have a couple more adulting, I guess. Well, I'll put one of them as a trending, I guess. And then the second adulting was I have been going through like different weeks where like one week I'm slammed doing a whole bunch of different things, and the next week I'm not busy, but I'm so tired from like the previous week I don't feel like doing anything, you know? So I had some clean laundry. So clean is always better than dirty laundry. And I was like, you know what? I just need to go put all this stuff away. But it's in my head, it's going to take me like 4 hours to do it. And I'm just like, I don't feel like doing it. I told myself I'm not allowed to sit on my bed and watch anything until I get all this folded laundry put away, which just means I have to throw it into drawers. Like, it's not that difficult. So, what I did was I made a little challenge for myself. I set my stopwatch to see how fast I could do it. And I wasn't even like sprinting, I was just going at a normal pace. And it actually only took me, I think I had one very, very full basket of laundry. Well, I think I had to fold and put away this. It took me 13 minutes. I'm like, all right, I just need to remind myself it's not that deep. Just put it in the, put it away. Yeah. What was your adulting of the week?
So, I definitely relate with laundry, and you're better than me because I definitely did not put away any laundry this week.
Depends on the week for me.
I have gotten really bad at just buying more hampers and then
Oh,
just sorting them into separate hampers and putting the hampers in a closet and forgetting about it.
yep. That sounds
Not
nice.
good, not good, but hey, at least it's hidden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this even counts as this week, but I volunteered to host Christmas this year,
That's exciting.
which is exciting. It's also my fiance wanted to host our first like holiday party with our families.
Yeah.
So it is really fun to host, but it's also a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you ever need any recipes, I got some good ones that are easy to make and delicious. They'll use all
Thank you
your
so
kitchen
much.
gadgets. Yeah,
But that my adulting for the week, I'm starting to plan a Christmas party.
so fun. In my head, I want to host. Like, once I have my
Mhm.
own place, like, that's my goal. But then the other part of me is like, I'm going to turn into, I don't know, was your mom this way too? I feel like every mom is this way where they're like,
Yes.
oh my God, people are coming over. We need to make the
No.
house look like no one has ever lived here.
Oh, for real. And especially like I don't know if it's with our parents' generation having higher expectations or what, but my mom's always that way. Like the house needs to be spotless. The
Spotless. And I'm
basement
like,
needs to be spotless. Inside
your
the
bedroom
closets need to be
also
spotless.
needs to be clean. No one else is gonna go in there, but it just
Yes.
needs to be clean. And then sometimes I feel like they're terrible when it's like, "Oh, what can I bring?" And then they're like, "Nothing. I need to make all of the food, all 18 courses."
My fiance was like that, or he was saying he wanted them to bring nothing and that he wanted to do everything. And I was just thinking about it in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm going to delegate.
I've come to find out you tell each person to bring something
Yes.
small.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you have 3 desserts. It's okay if you have multiple appetizers. It doesn't have to be, we can only have 1 appetizer, blah, blah, blah. There's such things as leftovers, and people feel good helping out and bringing stuff. And then that might be
Thankfully,
one less thing you have to make.
my family always did that, but my mom did have 7 siblings, so not doing potlucks ended up being physically difficult to carry everything.
Oh, yeah. And then you're like, you can add a 4th appetizer.
Yeah, go for it. We need it. Just trust me.
We need it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be.
Now that's good adulting. That's very, very good. And then that brings us to the headlines of the week. So I have one that's like a personal headline, or no, it's trends. Trends. Hello, we already did headline. I'm like, that doesn't spell WHAT. Trends of the week, trending topics. Well, my trend of the week is I finally have gotten headbands. They were a staple in my life for the longest time. I would wear them all the time for sports, everything. Like, I can still think of, like, my favorite headband, specific headbands I would wear. And ever since I cut my hair differently, I've always just wanted my bangs out of my face. You know, I'm like, get them away. But the headband's back. It is, hopefully doing me justice today. I had some crazy hair today, but you throw it on, no one can know. And they're like $5 at Target, so worth it. But the biggest trend of the week, and I know I've mentioned this to Holly before, but I don't know if other people know, and my mom did text me this information too, hot off the presses. Dictionary.com has named its 2025 word of the year. And so, Holly, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember last year's word?
I don't remember last year's word.
Okay, last year's word was demure. Everybody
Demure.
was like, we need to be demure, cutesy.
So demure. That's so
So
demure.
demure. So this one, I don't even know how they categorized it as the word of the year because it's numbers, but this year the 2025 dictionary.com word of the year is 6'7".
You know, I actually just listened to that song, so I finally know what 6'7".
See, in my head, I didn't even know it was from a song. Like, I had to Google it. I felt very old. I'm like, what is 6'7"? In my head, when I hear 6'7", it makes me think of, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like it's a 6 or 7, which is kind of like mid. Yeah. And I know you mentioned about that one guy who came in, you said for an interview.
So he came in for an interview at my store. I don't think he was interviewing to work at my store, but another store. But
Oh,
he
okay.
came in and said 6'7", Sigma Riz.
No, 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 no. What's
Thankfully,
crazy? Go
he
ahead.
didn't say. So thankfully, he didn't say that to the people who were in.
Okay, that's good. But still, those words shouldn't be
They're just
used.
shocking.
But I do have to say that probably the word of 2026 hasn't even been established yet. Or it has, and we're going to put it in a totally different term and use it in a totally different way. But those are my trends of the week. Did you have any trends this week?
So I definitely didn't need it, but I bought the Starbucks Hello Kitty
Oh my gosh, it's adorable.
plush. So there is some glare, but it's a little Hello Kitty dressed up as a barista.
That is really cute. I feel like
So
Hello Kitty never goes out of style. Even when you think it will, it just doesn't.
I remember when I was a little kid, I had a Hello Kitty radio, and I thought it was so cool.
I had a Hello Kitty alarm clock, and when I was kind of like done using it, but it still worked, I brought it to my grandma and grandpa's, and like we left it in the room that we would stay in. And then my grandma decided to paint the whole room the same color as the Hello Kitty alarm clock. And it's like an orchid purple, so bright. Yeah.
But hey,
Oh
it's fun when you're a kid.
my gosh, yeah. And I'm like, haha, screw you, Ethan. I get a purple room. And you have to stay here too. Because we shared it when we went by my grandparents. So yeah. Alrighty, well I think that concludes our WHAT news of the week. Full of exciting different things. And yeah, so we can go on to, I'm thinking the joy list first and then holiday stuff. But okay, so it was probably a month ago. since we talked about our joy list, probably even more, to be honest. But I was listening to a podcast, and there was a lady who came on. Her name is Liz Moody. You should definitely go check out. She has her own podcast called the Liz Moody Podcast. She wrote a book that I read, The 100 Ways to Change Your Life. Highly recommend that book. And one of the things she does, and she also posts about it, is creates this joy list. And she does it by month, and we kind of did by season, so we did a little spin to it. It's basically writing down a few things that you want to focus on and try to like accomplish by a certain time. We did a fall one. I know it's technically still fall, but I feel like with everybody switching over to the holidays, I figured it'd probably be good to go through um, our fall lists, and we will post our fall lists. Like, we took photos while doing some of our fall list items, so we'll share those with you. Probably, yeah, we'll share this with you after this episode comes out. But it's just a good reminder because I feel like sometimes we just go through seasons and we're not really paying attention to anything. And then you look back and you're like, I don't even know what I did in January. I couldn't tell you what I did in January this past year. But I think it's a good reminder to kind of look for the small joys in life. And so, with that, did you want to talk a little bit about what was on your joy list?
The first one I wrote down was eating Honeycrisp apples, and okay,
Ooh.
for sure, I have been buying Costco apples. They're really good.
Ooh,
And
sounds
they're
good.
actually pretty affordable too. So I've been eating a lot of apples, and definitely it's like a little joy, but they just hit different in the fall, you know?
They really do, especially like anything apple flavored too, like an apple pie or apple Danish or something. But that's like one of my go-to snacks. Something a little sweet, crunchy, and then especially if you add like peanut butter, a little bit of peanut butter, you're set.
I also have been really enjoying soup season. I've been
Oh
making a lot of
yeah.
soups. I've been making chicken noodle soup, chicken and rice. I
Yum.
made chili. I also made beef burgundy
Gosh.
soup. So good.
Ooh, that sounds really good. I can agree with you. I've been on my soup era. The amount of times I've eaten chili the past few months has been ridiculous, but every time I eat chili, my mom has this one recipe for firecracker chili. I don't know why it's called that. It's got a little zip, but nothing like crazy. Hers is just the best. Like, I eat others and I'm just like, that's meh chili, but I've eaten that a bunch. And then I tried white chicken chili, a new recipe for that, and that turned out really good. So definitely a lot of soups and chilies, and it just warms your heart, and then you get an excuse to eat some bread with it. So,
I can vouch. I've tried her mom's chili. It is really, really good.
oh yeah, I
So
forgot you
good.
came over for that. That was very, very good. And you can make a whole bunch of it and then freeze it, and then when you don't know what to make for dinner one night, just pull it out of the freezer, heat it up, you got dinner.
I've been freezing mine in meal prep containers too, so I can just pop them out of the freezer and don't have to cook.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. But yeah, soup season, keep continuing it. I feel like
So I
now's the
haven't
time.
gone to a pumpkin patch yet, but I was thinking about it. I still have a little bit of time, but not much time.
Yeah.
Just a little
And
bit.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if you go and you got time, great. If not, you can always leave it on your, like, bucket list for next year. You've probably seen so many pumpkins, you've seen all the leaves change, you know? So, and sometimes our lists are just too long. That's okay.
And I also found out that I have asthma and
Oh,
seasonal allergies for me are the worst.
oh
So
no.
I also stayed away from that. So that's okay. I'll
Yeah.
go next year. I'll go next year.
Yeah. It's a good bucket list item.
Do you want to share a couple or do you want me to
Yeah,
keep
I can
going?
share a couple that come to mind. I'm doing it off the top of my brain. Let's see what I remember. One of them was driving with the windows down, blasting music and singing. So Taylor Swift came on. I think it was You Belong With Me, Taylor's version came on. So I have a picture of that. It's either that one or Love Story. Probably You Belong With Me because that was my jam. I had her Fearless album and I would play it over and over again. Going on walks in the crisp fall air and like listening to the leaves crunch. I've been better in the beginning of fall walking a lot. And I did get to see all the leaves change. I'm excited this year because I feel like in years past, when the leaves have started to change, we would get like heavy rain and then it would wash all the leaves off the tree and then they're all on the ground. So you get like 3 days of viewing pretty leaves and then it's just all on the ground. But that's not the case this year. But I do have to say, I feel like we haven't had a lot of rain. So some of the leaves aren't as bright and vivid as they have been in years past. But I did accomplish that. Trying to think, I bake a bunch of different things and kind of spend more time baking. I've made chocolate chip cookies. I tried making pretzels, like soft pretzels. They didn't really look like soft pretzels, but they tasted good. English muffin bread. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I know one of them was drinking a hot coffee on a cold day. I definitely have drank a lot of coffee. I don't think I took a whole bunch of pictures, but that's okay. I know my phone did not eat first. And then one of the big ones was having a board night. Within that, I also had a bonfire. I had two of my friends come over and we each brought a different things. One person brought a fruit board, so just a big board of fruit. The other one had a dipped board, guacamole, salsa, I forget what else. And then what did I make? I can't remember what board I made, but I have pictures. So we'll see when I go back through my pictures. I know I made chili that night. I made a baked potato bar. And so I made a bunch of
Ooh,
baked potatoes with the toppings, but you'd fill it with chili.
so good.
So that was really good. I know a nap with the windows open and a slight breeze and on like a rainy day. I can guarantee you I've taken a nap from whenever we started the joy list until now. So just know I did do that. But I'm looking forward to creating one for kind of the winter because I feel like especially in the Midwest with daylight savings time and all the holidays, it gets dark out so early and then it starts getting super cold. And then come to find, like, once all the holidays have hit, you're done with all the holiday, you're on like a holiday high, all of a sudden you're like, what do I do with my life? Like, you have an existential crisis of, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's going on, it's too cold to go outside, too dark, all those kind of excuses that come up. So I'm excited to have a list to try and hit those goals of going and doing all those things because I need to retrain my brain. I see that it's dark out at 5 p.m. and my brain goes, oh, it's bedtime.
I'm crazy and I like winter, but I think I need to leave my apartment more often. So,
We will need to have some crafting days. And yeah, I think it's just the idea of taking a few minutes and focusing on what would be some fun things to do. Because I feel like once it hits, you're like, well, I wish I would have planned this a week earlier and we could have gone here. And so, no, I'm looking forward to that.
a couple I already want to do are going ice skating because I don't think I went ice skating last year.
I've never been ice skating.
We can go together.
I'll probably fall on my butt, but it's okay.
So they don't shame if you are an adult and use the handlebars.
I might need that.
And they have walkers too. They have like, and
Okay,
some look like spiders, but there's options.
cool. I would love to do that. That seems like so much fun.
And
And I
I'm not, oh, sorry, go
was gonna say, and now if I get injured, it won't matter. It's not like I have to go to
on.
training or whatever.
But you can blame me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard about this. So many athletes can't just do like fun stuff like going ice skating because it can ruin your career
I mean, like
or
I
your
could have,
scholarship.
but
Yeah,
oh, I
but
had,
like,
yeah, that's true for some college people.
mhm.
Yeah. What else did you want to do?
I'm not sure if everyone's heard of it, but I've never eaten at the Walnut Room. And I know it sounds silly.
What is that? That sounds
So it's
familiar.
the restaurant on the top floor of Macy's in downtown.
That would be so fun.
So I'm finally gonna get around to doing that because they have special Christmas.
Yes, you have the fun list. I love it.
So,
I'll have to. I feel like next week we can dive into our winter list because I feel like that'll be fun. But then I don't know. So for winter list, how long
oh
do
yeah,
we want it to continue? Because it'll be part of November, all of December. Maybe. Okay, so part of November, December, January, February.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely dive into that next week as part of our shtick. That should be fun. And I'll do some research to try and figure out some things. Did you have anything else you wanted to add for Joyless?
I'm also planning on going back to the Crisp Kindle markets. I always forget how to say it right. I say it a different way
Close
every
enough.
time. But
If you say
I'm
it fast enough, no one will question
oh
it.
yeah, it's just the confidence gives me confidence. So I
Yes.
haven't gone in a few years either, so I'm gonna go there again too.
I haven't gone to that one, but I've gone to, like, other craft fairs around us, and it's always interesting to see what they have, and most of the time, I'm like, "I feel like I could make that myself," and then I never do, but I'm like, "I know I can." So maybe this year I'll get around to it.
I will say it is very packed, so you have to like crowds to go. Like
So I gotta throw elbows. Got it. Yeah. So we'll share our winter joy lists, like fall/winter joy lists next week. But then we also in today's episode wanted to just talk about the holidays and all those things that come up when you're nearing towards the end of the year, which is so crazy to even think like that we're just a few weeks away from 2026, which kind of blows my mind. I just want to start off with how I feel like once Halloween hits, it's like a full speed sprint to the end of the year. And for my family specifically, there's so many things that go on between I'm just gonna start even with October through the end of the year because, like, in October, there's 4 family birthdays. November, there's 2 family birthdays no, 3 family birthdays, Thanksgiving. December, it's my birthday, a family birthday, you gotta throw in a Christmas party for family, you gotta throw in, like, whatever you're doing with your, like, immediate family, then you got New Year's. So it is just so much, and then on top of it, like, for work, it's quarter end, so you have so many things that you're trying to organize and get ready, so then by the beginning of the year, you'll have everything squared away. So I know that I can feel very overwhelmed during this time because don't get me wrong, I love the holidays. Thanksgiving, it's great. Every holiday is so great being around people and getting to see people and catch up with them. But the whole like, I need to shop for so and so and then I don't mind cooking, so that doesn't bother me at all, but I could imagine if you're trying to host 20 plus people and you gotta do all the cooking and the cleaning and the shopping and all that, but I think it's more of just especially, like, I love celebrating with my family, but then I also celebrate with my boyfriend's family too, so it's a lot of back and forth between it, which I love, but then by the time you're, like, at January 1st, you're like, "I need a month rest from all the back and forth." But did you have anything you wanted to add for, like, the holidays or how you feel about them? Because I get torn because it's, like, such a happy time, but then also, like, so stressful and kind of all over the place as well.
yeah, so I do really like the holidays a lot. I love Christmas, but I think you average more than like one event a week
Oh
during the
my
last 3
god.
months of the year.
It's ridiculous. Well, not well, kind of ridic I'm like, "Alright, it's this person's birthday," and then I make Christmas cookies with my boyfriend's family because it's a tradition, they're the literal best cookies. I'm learning how to make them from his yaya, like, so good. But then it's like, "Okay, I got that," and then I'm working, and then yeah, it's just so much back and forth, which when you're in it, you're like, "Yes, so fun," but then by the time you get home and your head hits the pillow, you're like, "Oh my god, I need so much time off."
But yes, I think this year I've just been trying not to think about it, which I'll
Yeah.
figure it out later. Things are going to get much more stressful or not.
I feel like that's a good motto.
Yeah.
Again, as we kinda mentioned, like, how moms can be of, like, the house has to be perfectly clean, blah, blah, blah. I I don't think that's the case,
Yeah.
like, with everyone dealing and then some people, like, travel super far as well, so, like, there's that travel thrown in. Luckily, like, I don't have to go very far, which is nice, but I think just, like, taking a break and then kind of enjoying the whole season of holidays. I feel like when you're a kid, you kind of are so excited for it, and you just are just, like, over the moon and happy about everything. And then once you become an adult, it's like, what are you getting this person for Christmas? Have you been shopping here? Black Friday that started in July, like kind of all over the place. But I think it's most important to just even if it's crazy leading up to every holiday, just be present in every moment because you think about how many people like gather together and how amazing that is to have all your loved ones together and share a meal and stuff. So I think just really being present in that moment and enjoying everybody's company. And it doesn't matter if you accidentally burned your sweet potatoes or if your pie didn't set correctly or if you weren't able to get the biggest best gift. I don't think that's the spirit of the holidays. I think it's more important to focus on like what is the meaning of all these holidays and just be thankful and grateful for all your friends, family, whoever you see over the holidays, spending that time with them. Yeah. I was going to say, I was going to give some tips and tricks. So I'll give you a few seconds to, I'm putting you in the hot seat, but I'll explain some tips and tricks that I have for, I guess, the holidays in general, because there's so many all at once. And hopefully all your family's birthdays are like in the summertime, because that would be very helpful. If you're going somewhere for Thanksgiving and you want to bring something, but the host is like, oh, you don't need to bring anything, or you want to bring something and they say like, oh, can you bring this or whatever, you want like a crowd pleasing meal. I will have to share this recipe. If you love mashed potatoes, world's greatest mashed potatoes, and you have an Instapot, you can make them in 7 minutes. You just need a bunch of potatoes and some cream cheese and some salt and a little garlic. Cook them in there, you're done. They're the best. If you're not cooking anything but you want to bring something, I think like a bottle of wine goes a long way. Or if the your hosts don't drink or whatever, maybe make like a holiday punch. Those are always super fun. I love a good like Sprite cranberry sort of drink. Or even just go get some flowers, a candle. I think now is the season of candles. I don't think I've ever met somebody who doesn't like a candle. I think those small little things go a long way. You don't have to go over the top. And if you're going to be stressed out making food to go somewhere, go buy it. Like, no one's going to be upset that you brought a Jewel pumpkin pie because it'll still be eaten and everyone's going to love it. And then for like Christmas wise or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate when you're giving gifts, don't feel like you have to spend a bajillion dollars on each person, because I know each family does their own thing. So I don't know whether you're buying for 3 people or if you had to buy for your whole extended family. I think homemade gifts go a long way if you have that inkling, or even just small useful things. You don't have to go above and beyond and go crazy. Or even a homemade card goes the longest way. If you're not super crafty, that's okay. But I think just a card, something sweet. We can definitely have an episode closer to like Christmas and talk about some of the easy crafts you can do, some of the sweet little gifts you could get somebody, and some recipes to use, because I have a bunch of super easy ones that I love using every year. But kind of just know that it's more about the holiday season and spirit of the holiday and who you're spending it with, not how much money can you spend and how great of a cook you are, you know?
But no, I definitely think that's true.
Yeah. But I mean, it's exciting. I love all the Christmas movies, and I don't know if there's that many like Thanksgiving movies. I don't think
I'm
there
sure there
is.
are.
There's
So I don't think this counts, but Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that would be a cute one.
That's like, because it always plays on Thanksgiving. And I think Charlie Brown Thanksgiving
Yep.
special
Okay,
and
yeah.
football.
Football. How could I
Yes,
forget football?
football. Just, is it a
Football.
movie? No, but
No.
it is Thanksgiving movie.
It's entertainment because you get to watch your family members sit and yell at the TV.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Well, we can definitely dive into some more Thanksgiving stuff as we get closer, and then Christmas stuff. But yeah, I just thought we should share that kind of PSA of you don't need to feel stressed this holiday season. Even though
No,
it can be a stressful time, I think we can take it one day at a time and really be present and enjoy our holidays.
I definitely agree. Maybe later on we can do a budget Halloween present episode. Wait, did I say
Oh,
budget Christmas presents?
budget Christmas. We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. I have some good stories for that.
Maybe.
We can definitely do a Christmas one, Christmas crafting. Yeah. And then we can dive into our unqualified advice and our unqualified rant. And I feel like you have the best rant for today. I feel like I had another rant, but I can't even remember it. So I gotta be mean in the brain and get there. So without further ado, our favorite part of every episode, our unqualified rant and unqualified advice. So, Holly, you wanna take it away with your unqualified rant?
So I think we all know that Starbucks is allergic to making money, but they only sent each store 2 bear cups, and my store didn't even get any bear cups.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
all over social media. I was on Instagram earlier, and I saw so many posts on Instagram about, like, the new Starbucks merch drop, and
No.
no one got any, not even the people who work there.
Gosh. It's like Starbucks hates their workers. And for those of you who don't know, and maybe aren't obsessed with cups like we are, but basically they drop these really fancy cups and everybody wants them, but then they don't give the stores enough cups. So then people, crazy customers, will come in and call the store and complain and be like, why don't you have any of these overpriced, really cute cups? And you just have to stand there and tell them, sorry, like, we didn't get any in. And then they're like, what about in the back? Can you check in the back? And you're like, no, we don't have anything in the
Sometimes
back.
you know there's nothing in the back, but you still have to watch the back.
Right. You just walk to the back to have some time and space to yourself. The other thing, oh, go ahead.
No, you can go on.
I was going to say, I was going to rant about the prices because they're ridiculous. So
Crazy.
I always check when there's a new launch to see how expensive certain things are. And so they have a caramel brulee latte. It is like chef's kiss. I don't know. It's made with crack or something because it's so good. It's so sweet though. So I was like, what does a grande iced caramel brulee latte? Don't you dare ever look at the nutrition label for any of these fall or not fall. Don't look at the nutrition label for any of these winter drinks because they're like your whole day's worth of calories and your whole day's worth of fat. I'm kidding. It's probably half your day's of fat and like 500 calories for a drink. But treat yourself during these holidays. Maybe not every day. Anywho, I love seeing how much they cost. How much more will somebody pay for a cup of Joe? I kid you not. Grande iced caramel brulee latte was $7.44. I'm sorry, $8 for a 16-ounce cup that probably has 4 ounces of ice cubes. So you're getting like probably 10 ounces of coffee with milk and then add the whipped cream in the top. I'm like, what? That's crazy. And then if you get
And
a large, they're even more expensive.
recently, someone bought 2 drinks that were small, the tall size, which is
You can
12
never go with the
ounces.
tall because it's not the correct pricing, but
It's never worth
continue.
it. She bought 2 tall-sized drinks that were over $8 each.
Are you serious?
So her total was like $17 on 2 drinks, 2 tall drinks.
That's insane.
They were customized though, but still, like, that's actually crazy that she
Oh
did that.
my god. Yeah, and that wasn't even like the 744 wasn't even for any customizations or anything. And it's just, let me tell you, if you enjoy coffee and you find yourself at the drive-through too many days in a row, get yourself an espresso maker and learn how to use it. It will save you so much money. Oh my gosh. And there's so many different recipes and syrups out there that you can get. Like you can go buy a really good, nice brand of syrup. A whole bottle is maybe $7, 11 if you're going crazy. And then that makes so many drinks. You just have to, it's time versus convenience, you know, like if you have time, you'll save so much money. But oh my gosh, I can't imagine spending that much. I loved it when you worked there and you got them for free, but gosh, that's a lot of money.
And my other random today. So in the morning, I was on the drive-through espresso machine, which is the busiest one in the store, and the entire handle and steam wand fell off. It's like at first, my coworkers thought I was talking about just the outer part of the steam wand that we take off to clean fell off, but no, the entire handle and
Everybody's
wand just
getting iced
fell off.
drinks. That's not good.
So um, my manager just kept saying, "Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off." So I turned off the espresso machine, and he just said, "Oh, no, we can still use it, just only for espresso." So for the rest of the day, we were down to just one bean one. It was at least
Oh
funny.
gosh.
It was at least funny to watch.
Yeah, yeah. But then the customers don't understand. They're like, "Roar."
Why is everything taking so long? So it quite literally just fell apart.
Ugh, that's the worst.
So do you have any expert rants? Because I have some advice too.
I have one piece of advice. I guess rants. I don't. Okay, here we go. Daylight savings time. Hate it.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it. Why is it getting dark at 4:30 in the afternoon? Like, ugh, it's nice when you fall back and you gain an hour, but then for the next like 2 or 3 days, you're all mixed up. And then you feel like you're working an extra hour at work. And then by the time you get off work, it's dark out. So you can't even go for a nice little walk around the block or anything. You could, but you gotta wear like highlighter yellow and have a flashlight and stuff. But yeah, I don't like it. And oh my gosh, my dad has the audacity to be like, we'll be driving somewhere and it's dark out at 5 p.m. or whatever. And I'll complain and he'll be like, you know what? We're one day closer to spring. I'm like, it hasn't even hit winter yet. He's too positive. I can't take positive Ted right now.
No,
He's too
no,
positive.
he can after the first day of winter, but too soon.
You're one day closer to spring. And then he'll be like, don't worry, tomorrow's it's gonna be we're gonna what does he say? Tomorrow's it's gonna be a longer day. Like one more hour or one more minute of sunlight. The days are getting longer.
1 more minute of sunlight.
Toxic positivity right there.
So I don't remember ever asking for more sunlight in the morning.
Right. I
But
don't
anyway,
I mean when you wake up and it's dark, you're like, come on. But with you working at Starbucks and especially morning like opening, you get so used to it being dark anyway. So yeah, it's not worth it.
waking up, it's just fine. You get used to it. You get used to
Yeah.
it.
I'd rather have it lighter out later on.
When I don't have to worry about work, that's fine. It can be dark when I'm at work.
Yeah, so that's my rant. Maybe we should be like Hawaii and Arizona and just say no.
So the worst part for me is because I take college classes through Arizona State University, which is all online, but they use Arizona time.
Oh, that's gotta be trippy. So they're normally an hour behind, but because of the
Yeah.
time change, are they 2 hours behind?
Yeah. So it goes back and forth between 1 hour and 2 hours behind. So
God, how do you
it's
keep
hard to keep
track of
track
that?
of. It's hard to. So now all of my assignments are due at a different time, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, hopefully it says it on your computer and it'll be like, this is instead of due at midnight, it's due at 1 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, thankfully it will.
That's
So
too
my
trippy.
advice for this is if you want special merchandise or Starbucks merchandise, go to Target or a licensed store because they can order
Good.
merchandise. Starbucks and corporate stores don't get to order any of their merchandise. They don't know when anything shows up. It just shows up. It shows up in the mail. They don't tell us that it's on the way. It just shows up.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, especially if you want something like a Stanley, go to a Target because I went to Target recently and they still had a ton of fall Starbucks Stanleys that I never even saw at my own store. Like they had tons of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you probably won't have to fight anybody for it.
They were
Yikes.
54.99.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's true. There's usually more of a selection at like a Target than certain stores. And once you're at a certain store, like whatever's out there is pretty much out there. Unless it's the ugliest cup in the world, and we always get so much more of those, I feel like. But that's good advice. My advice for you people listening is if you like a peppermint mocha, which I love a good peppermint mocha every once in a while. Just a fair warning. It has so many pumps of flavoring. So if you get a grande peppermint mocha, it will come with 4 pumps of mocha and 4 pumps of peppermint. And it's basically how you'd say like a quarter of the cup is syrup.
Yeah.
And then it's 2 shots of espresso and like the smallest amount of milk and then some whipped cream. So if you love it that way, keep doing you. But just I was not aware of that. And I was like, how many pumps am I putting in this cup? And it's even worse if you get a venti ice, especially. That is 12 pumps of flavoring in your venti ice peppermint mocha. I personally, mocha flavor and peppermint are so strong by themselves, you could probably cut it in half and it would still taste just as delicious. Maybe even more delicious. But oh, that hurts my tummy thinking about the venti iced peppermint mocha. And
I
then people
saw
would add more.
on the menu today that the peppermint mocha frappuccino has less sugar than the hot peppermint mocha.
That's crazy.
It has fewer calories, I believe. Maybe not sugar, but one of the two.
Oh my gosh.
But
If you're
yes,
treating
it does
yourself,
use,
don't look at the calories.
or just get the frappuccino. It's fine.
Yeah,
Just get
it's
the
more fun.
frappuccino. You deserve it.
Alrighty, well that wraps up this episode of Expertly Unqualified. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks again. And
And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
all right, that's a wrap on our episode of Expertly Unqualified. If you stuck around this long,
You're either extremely loyal, extremely bored, or extremely caffeinated. Either way, we love that for you.
Make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review if you laughed, related, or were personally attacked by something we said. Find new episodes and more on our website, thepodmates.com.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Expertly Unqualified. Send us your stories, questions, or weird hot takes. You might just hear them on a future episode.
We are, as always,
Expertly Unqualified. Conversation's so fun, you'll forget we have no idea what we're doing.
Was it Podmates production?